Conflict Continuum course is a comprehensive structured program that will cover the basic martial art concepts that can be utilized against a whole multitude of common assaults, thus obtaining maximum retention. During this course, we will teach proven common sense tactics that will reduce the likelihood of having to use these physical skills in the first place. Remember, prevention is the best defense. Exercising awareness and good judgment can prevent most assaults. So what is conflict continuum? It's the various stages that a conflict or attack may progress or escalate. In stage 1, the predator selects the victim from social clues, your posture, your demeanor, your distractions in life, such as your children, a cell phone. It becomes you're the easy target for that predator. Stage 2 is that interaction, verbal interaction. It's abusive language. It's used to distract, to shock, and scare you. That is their intent. That is their plan. Stage 3, and the final stage, is the actual physical assault that may occur. With continual progression, it may start off with a simple grab to your right hand, your right wrist, to a full hug from the rear. It could lead to a choke from the rear, a takedown to the ground, continuing punching to the face, choking, and possibly to unconsciousness, and yes, possibly to death. In the Conflict Continuum course, we talk about the plan. The assailant does have a plan. He's looking for the easy target. But in his plan, he's never assuming that you have developed your own plan to deal with verbal and physical confrontation. Our self-defense or self-protection skills are really very straightforward. They're not intensive. They're easy to recall in an emergency situation, and they're natural for women. Most techniques are the same. They strike, they stun, and we run. And that is it. So in Conflict Continuum, we talk about weapons and how to use your natural weapons that you have with you, and what are the targets that we're going to be striking on your assailant. So our weapons are our hands. Either it's an open hand, it could be a punch, it could be a hammer fist, it could be a backhand, it could be fingers to the eyes, sweeping or jabbing into the eyes. It could be an elbow strike. It could be our voice. We want to yell, and we recommend you use the word fire. Why? That brings natural attention to yourself from those who may be around you, because they could be the one that makes the difference of stopping that physical assault. And when you yell, you want to yell with anger and intent. You're driving a lot of energy into this situation by saying fire aggressively. So now we're into our physical skills training scenarios. We're going to do 14 of these. Majority of them are all going to be standing. These first 4 are going to be very similar. They're going to start off with your assailant grabbing your hand, whether it's the same side or reaching across or maybe a double hand. All of the techniques that you'll see for these first 4 are very, very similar, in which we're going to give yourself a hug, reach out and strike, and then turn and run away. And when you practice these, your runaways need to be 2 or 3 steps. If you just reach out, stun, strike, and turn, simulating your running, that's what you're going to remember. So practice actually turning and stepping, running away a few feet to really get that emphasis about running. So I'm going to ask JP, my training partner, to step in. We're going to start off with the first one, which is the same size wrist grab. He's grabbing my wrist right above my hand, which is very common, particularly for females, to grab and pull them away. And so when we strike, we're going to give ourselves a hug. We break through the hand. We strike with an open hand to the face as one example. We turn and then we run. So that is our first skill. Same size wrist grab, give yourself a hug. You break through the wrist, reach out with an open hand as one technique. Strike to the nose, strike to the throat, or strike to the eyes as other options. Turn and run away. So the next technique, we're up against the wall here. This could be a tree, it could be a car, it could be a building, inside a house, doesn't matter. You're rigid, you can't move. You can only really escape really kind of in two directions. So JP is gonna put his hands around me. Now chokes can be very, very high. He'll show a high grip, and I can't talk really well, so I'll ask him to back off a little bit. And he can drive me into the wall. He can hit my head against the wall. You don't want to stay here for very long. You need to get out of any choke quickly. So what was our technique again? As he chokes me, I go up high with the arm, I turn, come down, and I run away. We're in a very tight focus here, so my movement is very limited here, but I want you to practice running 2, 3, 4 steps away on every one of these moves. Let's show it in the opposite direction. I go up high, come down on the arms, and move away from my assailant. That's without even striking. So now if he grabs me around the throat, I need to break this quickly within seconds. I can go right to his throat again, spear hand right into the throat, and I turn. That attack to the throat is going to lessen the grip. In many cases, that may be all what you need to do. I'll ask JP to grab me again, and I press, and he is going to back off. It's too painful. I am just pressing. If I want to do a spear hand aggressively, it's going to be very quick, very painful. But be mindful that I want to go right or left. He might break away with one hand and keep the other pressing, and I want to break out of that. Whatever the scenario is, you need to practice a number of them. So very good technique. Spear hand into the cartilage of the throat and drive in and down. Quite effective. Give that a try. Right, as we wrap up the Conflict Continuum curriculum of self-protection, self-preservation, we always want to stress prevention, letting people know where you are. Going in pairs in the outside. Running alone is very difficult. You're at risk, you're vulnerable. Certainly let people know where you're going if you are going to run alone. Do not be distracted in public with a cell phone. Someone's going to attack you, get that cell phone, maybe striking you, or they want your purse, your wallet, your money clip, your firearm that you may be carrying and displaying. So always be aware, use your gut. Use your gut impression, your sixth sense about your surroundings. Always be aware who's moving. Someone may be paralleling you in a parking lot 2 rows away. Lots of things to think about to be safe, but using your gut impression. So to wrap up with the Conflict Continuum, no self-defense class can guarantee victory. You need to train, you need to be prepared, you need to make wise choices, and you need to plan to survive. Practice, practice, practice. Thanks for your attendance.